Big Brothers, Big Sisters of the Lowcountry has been changing lives for children through mentorship for many years. Today, I talk one-on-one with the new CEO of this organization, CJ Gavers, for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. CJ Gavers, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you for having me, Quintin. It's great to be here.
Oh, I appreciate it greatly. You know, me and you met right after the Coop River Bridge run on the Sunday. I was on my bicycle, which is right next to me right here, right now.
In the middle of the street.
in the middle of the street in downtown Charleston. And I told you congratulations on your new position, because obviously you're the new CEO of the Big Brothers, Big Sisters of the Lowcountry.
Yes, I am. So, and thank you again for the congrats. I am esteemed to be a part of this organization that I have had in my heart for so long, not even realizing the history and how long it had been a part of my family. You remember CYDC, Carolina Youth Development Center, and back when it was a part of Carolina Youth Development Center, my mom worked there for a really long time, for maybe about 10 years, off and on at different points in her life. And I remember being there, but I did not know the connection. And I lost my mom 2 years ago. And when I assumed this role, because I'm just always been a fan of the organization, I was actually looking to be a big sister. When I first inquired, I didn't know that the role was open. And, things just happened, and it was divinely timed. And when I began to read in depth the history, and I saw that it was connected and tied to CYDC, I kind of dropped the paper like, oh, wow. And it feels like timing is right. I don't question it. I'm so excited to have my passion, my purpose for youth, empowerment, mentorship, and just uplifting of people be a part of something I do every day.
I want to get back to that in a second, CJ, but let me ask you this. What is the state of mentoring and youth empowerment from your perspective and your experience?
From my perspective, prior to, it's been paramount in the success of youth. And I'll tell you why. So prior to one of the roles that I've had in a career, I've been in education, higher education, and K-12. I taught middle school, and mentorship was a big part of that teacher role. I'm just here to tell you, the teachers are not just teaching one subject. We are the therapists. We are the big sister, sometimes the mama, sometimes. So a lot of times we slide in there when kids they need a safe space to just be themselves, to bounce ideas off of, not sound, some things they can't tell their friends, some things they can't tell their family, but to have a trusted adult, such as a mentor, it has really been a savior of lives, because you can get in there and hear non-judgmentally and be able to just talk and to pour and to glean and to hone those skills that you don't know. So I've had a mentor growing up. I have one currently, a few, and that's not going to change for me in the future. So I think that the trajectory of youth, and it's been proven, there is research that shows that the trajectory of youth changes tremendously when mentorship is involved. And Big Brothers, Big Sisters has been around for over 120 years, the leading youth mentorship program organization in the United States. So there's for a reason. It's around because it works. Oh, yes. So yeah.
Okay, Mr. CJ, let me ask you this. I want to ask you another question to this as well. But what is the biggest difference from when the Big Brothers, Big Sister organization started to right now?
Great question. I'd just say that time has brought a very swift transition. I do think that in some ways, in our state of the union, we're revisiting sometimes that we've experienced in the past when it comes to equity. However, we're still in the fight. And even if it may feel like we're taking some steps backward or taking some steps to the left or to the right, the fight still goes on. And at the center of everything that I do, hope. You can't lose hope, even when things seem gloomy. So I'd say that there's a tremendous difference from when it started in the early 1900s to now. So here we are, where we are over 100 years later, still facing some of the same challenges because the largest population of our youth are underserved communities. And representation matters, I'd say. So, one of the things that I think is important about now is the awareness. And this is something that my organization, is looking for, is representation. Representation, people, one, knowing about us being a resource and for youth having access to resources and to mentorship and guidance. And for those that want to pour back in, that are climbing the ladder but want to lift as they climb the ladder, knowing that there's an organization where they can be matched with a little. And little just means mentee. So I'm using our jargon. So yes, bigs mean mentor, little means mentee.
Oh, absolutely. I want to pick up to where you just left off, and I was writing it as you were talking about it. But obviously, you all are a resource. But what more resources do you all need to continue to be a resource 5-10 years from now?
That's a great question. So I'll tell you that the state of all nonprofits, I'd say we're facing some challenges, especially with how funding has shifted in our just in our nation today. So I'll say not only do we need donors, sponsors that can help to keep our programming going. One of the things that we do is to match our bigs with our littles. One of the things that we do is once you're matched, we do match activities. And our Big Brothers, Big Sisters of the Lowcountry, we sponsor one match activity a month. So you can't say that you don't have anything to do, because we're going to provide something that we're going to pay for at least once a month. So there is an activity once a month that is going to be fun and engaging, and we send it out to all of our matches. They can sign up, and I was able to go to a match activity in June. No, not June. It is June, in May. And it was the beginning of May, and it was, we were on a catamaran, and it was, I think I met like maybe 25 matches. It was amazing. And I got to sit, talk to them. We did a shark tooth hunt. It was great. And it was phenomenal. But I'm going to tell you what's invaluable, because this leads me to the other thing that we're looking for, what we need as an organization. I was talking to one of the littles, and she had her nails done, and she told me that she had just gone to the nail shop with her big, and that she had her 8th grade dance coming up, and she was excited. And then she said, I'm a little sad. I'm not going to stay long because my boyfriend can't go. I'm a bit of a cougar. He's in 7th grade. And I said, what? And I laughed, I chuckled, and the camaraderie. And so then she said, yeah, but I'm in her wedding. So she's in her big's wedding, which to me, I wanted to just say that when you match, when a big and a little match, it's not just transactional. It's real. It is like family. You are embedded. And if you make it past that 1-year mark, you're probably going to see it through until you age out of the program, which is after you graduate from high school. That speaks volumes. Almost every relationship that I had seen, some of them, like the teenagers, they had been in the program since they were like 7 or 8 with that same big. So to me, what that showed was that we need more influential, able-bodied adults that have at least a few hours a month to pour back into the youth of this community to sign up to be bigs.
And as you know, and everyone else knows, there's a lot of influential people here in the Lowcountry who can actually help you all with that.
Right.
But Ms. CJ, let me ask you this, Dan. How many matches do you all currently have in this program?
Right now we are a little shy of 300. Yeah, but we have some folks on the waiting list on the little side and on the big side. And I'll tell you what that is. We are we don't just put people together. We take the time to investigate and to make sure that we are being intentional about what this relationship will foster. So there is an interview on the family side, there's an interview on the big side as well, so that we are matching the right folks together so that there can be a long-term relationship, mentor relationship. So we don't just create the relationship, but we support the relationship throughout its duration.
Wow. And when those kids obviously graduate from high school and move on with their life, how do they continue that relationship from the perspective of the Big Brothers Big Sisters program?
That is an amazing question, and I'm so glad you asked that. We have like worldwide 20 million alumni to date. My nephew being one of them, which I'm so proud of him. He could possibly get drafted into the NFL. Fingers crossed, praying up. However, there was a time in his life where he had a big brother, and I'll never forget that. And so what can those alumni do? One, they can keep in touch on their own, individually on their own time if they would like to. I know some of them still do. That's one thing. You can keep the relationship going. The biggest thing, you can come back and be a big. You know the program. You know what it's like. You know how impactful it's been to your life. Come on back. Tell us about it. Don't just tell us about it, but you know what? I want to be a big now. I want my friends to be bigs now. This helped me so much. I want my professor or my whoever. I want to tell people about the mission we create and support one-to-one mentoring relationships that ignite the power and the promise of youth. Those words they mean a lot to me. When I taught ELA. So I love words. And ignite is to spark a fire. And we see the fire, we spark the fire, and then there's the power and promise of youth that blows my mind every time I say it, because everyone deserves the chance to thrive, especially every young person.
Absolutely. And I'm probably being redundant, but what exactly is the power of a mentorship?
No, no, that's not redundant. I have to tell you, if one of the, oh goodness gracious, sorry. So I think what's so powerful about mentorship is the authenticity of the relationship. I also think what's important about mentorship is that you can be vulnerable, there's growth, and whatever you may feel, like you can say the scary things, you can say the weird things, you can just be yourself. And it's someone who is not as invested as, not, I won't say invested, but not as biased as family or a teacher that has another vested interest in your life. But this is truly just seeing you reach your potential. And that's, to me, what's one of the most powerful things is the relationship and the authenticity of it. I do want to tell you another thing that we have going on, if you have time for it.
Yes,
you may have seen that I posted about our fundraiser, because I talked to you about funding being one of the things that we need. Right now, we do have the big golf cart raffle. And I'm telling you, that is one of the things we're doing to circumvent how we can raise money, keep our programming going for the long haul. And just how that is, and I can send you the link later, but it's a $50 raffle ticket, and it goes through July 26th, and it's a 2025 brand new, right off the lot golf cart. So it's an amazing opportunity to win the golf cart, but also to invest in a young person's future, because the proceeds all go to our programming.
Oh, that's going to be amazing. And yes, I will link that up to the YouTube channel so that people can look at it and go about that as well later on today. But let me ask you this, for CJ. I can think about back to the time when I was growing up here on the east side of Charleston in the early 90s up until, 2000. I'm 40 now, but I understood the vulnerabilities back then. What vulnerabilities from when you were growing up still resonate with some of the youth today?
Hmm. Well, I'd say that not a whole lot has changed. So you and I are around the same age. So those things are still very present. I think what has amplified it is social media, access to things that we back in the 90s didn't have access to. Some things, and so I think that there is a little more, some more boundaries that may need to be set because of the internet and how much it has grown over the years. So, internet is not a bad thing by no means. However, I do think that we as mentors, leaders, parents, it's our responsibility to use each moment as a teachable moment and to not instill fear, not instill shame into as people are learning or as our youth are just exploring, because that's what life is about, exploring and experiencing. And then when we do, it's okay, but use it as a learning experience. So I don't think necessarily the vulnerabilities are any different. It's just that the times have changed and the access to information has changed. And we just have to show them what's real and what's not.
I know you haven't been in the road so too
It's
long.
2 months. It's almost 2 months.
2 months. But so far, what has been that teachable moment for you as CEO?
Well, I will say it's like a closet. I like to get dressed. I like to put on nice things. When you saw me, I had on some floral dress and I was all dressed up going to this garden party. It was beautiful. However, not every not every event requires that level of fashion, if you will, right? So stay with me. I'm going somewhere with this. So also coming to work requires a certain level of attire, right? If I'm going to hang out with my 2-year-old daughter, Kendall Ann, that requires maybe a certain kind of attire and a backup just in case. So there's that. However, that doesn't change but still the closet is the closet. So what I've learned is you got to put on different garments at different times. Some people may say hats. I think it's way bigger than that because you clothe yourself in that moment and you're equipped to handle it all, right? So for me, I've had to take off a few layers or do something and adjust very quickly in these two roles. And what has been a teachable moment is, hey, it's okay. Just go back to the closet. You don't need the jacket again. Go ahead. So you don't need this cape again. So if that makes any sense without giving great detail about the instances, being able to adjust to the moments, and I mean change your clothes whenever you need to so that you're equipped for whatever it is you're facing.
And you talk about whatever you're facing, Miss CJ. I'm probably going to be redundant again. I am so sorry, but what are these youth? What exactly are they facing today? Besides, the obviously abundant access to social media and other things. What are they facing?
Well, I'll talk to you about some of the ones that I've talked to. So without disclosing their names, so I don't want to just go from what I think. I'll just tell you some of the things I've heard. So there's one little that I know of who's about to go to high school and is really scared about what that feels like, the unknown of making friends, the anxiety around that. Also, a one parent household, that one specifically. There's that and how that feels, navigating through that, navigating relationships, friendships, and even romantic relationships. We can't ignore that that happens. We grew up, we had crushes, we had little boyfriends and girlfriends and whomever. And there's that. And also navigating identity, navigating who I am, what do I like, how do I feel, what are my emotions, emotional intelligence. So these are some of the things that I've heard from them. And I dare not try to grab any other data except what I've heard from their mouths. So there's that. Also, grief. There's some moments of grief in their grandparents, some parents, there some people who have lost siblings, and there's a lot of people. So they're just little humans. They're facing what we all face. And I think what makes it better, and some of us have developed friendships. However, it's what's beautiful about this organization is we're not leaving that to chance. We're providing the opportunity for them to have relationships, mentor relationships, so that they can navigate through some tough times if they arise, when they arise, if I might say.
Oh, absolutely. And you talk about tough times. You talk about obviously the things that the youth are dealing with today. How do you then go out into the community and tell us to those youth?
Would tell what to the youth? Tell me, are you saying tell them that we're available or who we are?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And there's hope.
Well, it's a, and what?
And there's hope.
Say that last time.
Yeah, and there's
there
hope.
is hope. Yes,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
I'm gonna tell you, I grew up, I grew up in church. I am a PK. A PK is a preacher's kid,
Right.
for any listeners that don't know. But I will tell you that hope during tough times is not something that I just learned how to preach. I kind of was voluntold to make this my message my whole entire life, because it's how we were raised to, whenever things may look glim or dreary, or when things do seem like they're on the up and up, always use your voice for good and for the betterment of people. Show them where hope is. Show them where light is. Show them where joy is. And if they don't know where to find it, try to show them yours. Maybe they'll find it there. If not, connect them with some. So there's power in connection. There's power in just you uplifting positivity. So that's who I am. That's who I've always been. That's, again, I guess I got that kind of bug from just being a child, but I didn't know how to change that. And I'm never going to navigate away from that. So any role that I'm in, and if we just met, but I'm sure you've seen some of my social media and some of the things that I've been a part of, but being immersed in the community, to engage in the community, to empower the community is a part of my purpose.
What's next for Big Brothers, Big Sisters of the Lowcountry?
Well, I know I mentioned the golf cart fundraiser. I'd say that's our biggest focus right now. And we have a really big celebration on July 26th. And that is to announce who the golf cart raffle winner is. And that's at Holy City Brewery, right over in Park Circle. So even if you didn't get a ticket, we'll still have tickets. So make sure you can come out, have fun. We'll have games, music, and just some bigs, some littles, and it'll be a really fun time. That's what's coming up this summer. And then in the fall, we have some other really exciting opportunities coming up where we are able to showcase our littles and our bigs, and also like give appreciation. And then the holidays are coming up and so forth. And I'm sure you will see me out and about on the town, crying loud, staring not, telling everybody about BBBSL, Big Brothers, Big Sisters of the Lowcountry, because I am a defender of the mission. I got that cape I have on. I can get behind this, and I am so elated to be at the helm. So my vision that God gave me when I assumed this role is expressed in 3 E's, and that's empowerment, engagement, and expansion. That's what's next for BBBSL.
And if somebody wants to be a mentor, how do they go about that?
Come to our website, bbbslowcountry.org. Go to our website. I don't have a QR code, but I will give that to you so that people can find the link to that. But come to our website. You can sign up to be a mentor. You can also, if you're interested in your family that has a little, sign up to be a mentee, because it's a family thing. It's not just the little that's involved. We're going to engage the entire family. So go to the website.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing. Can't wait for it to see all those good things to come to pass there.
Thank you so much, Quintin.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Well, CJ Gabbers, the CEO of Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Lowcountry, thank you for your time. And again, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.